Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief. I'm Marlene Marks, and I bring you the top stories making headlines every Monday to Thursday on this very channel. We are also on YouTube at the Israel Brief, and if you click on that big red subscribe button, you help tell Israel's side of the story to people who may never see it in the mainstream media. And while I can't believe it's weekend already, this week has felt like a year. Let's take a look at those top stories. This week we've been covering events in the south quite extensively as terror groups within the Gaza Strip have sent arson balloons and IEDs over the border into Israel with the intention of setting fire to thousands of acres of valuable farmland and natural reserve. On Wednesday, there were 20 fires. On Tuesday, 60 fires. And today, there have been up to now at least 12 fires with 2 bunches of incendiary balloons landing near the Eshkol Regional Council. And sappers are on the scene to investigate further. In response to this, the IDF have been striking Hamas targets within the Gaza Strip because we do hold Hamas responsible for any of the actions of these terror groups. And the government announced earlier today that they will be reducing the area allowed for fishing. So trying to put the screws on these terror groups that they will stop sending these incendiary devices into Israel. In some good news, we've been following the tragic blast that happened in Beirut, and so far all fingers are pointing towards terror group and Iranian proxy Hizbollah. But in good news, earlier today, Lithuania became the latest country to announce that they now recognize Hizbollah as a terror organization, and they will not be allowing any members of Hizbollah and their affiliates into the country. This is very, very good news indeed, not just for us, but for the people of Lebanon who have had to live under Hezbollah terror influence. And yesterday, the Defense Ministry announced that they had thwarted a major cyber attack on the defense industry. And while not too many details have been made public, we do know that an international hacker group that called themselves Lazarus tried to infiltrate using the social media platform LinkedIn. But thank goodness we have excellent cyber sleuths, and they managed to stop the attack. And there's been much speculation about which country is behind it, but no details of that have been confirmed. And I'm glad to say that news about COVID-19 is slipping lower down on the agenda, but we do have some significant updates. Earlier today, Israel's health official announced that he expects that within the next 2 weeks, we should see the rate of infections coming down. However, he did warn that it's not coming down enough to stop the chain of infections. In the last 24 hours, Israel experienced its highest mortality rate with 17 new deaths. However, there has been some good news. 3 people reacted very, very positively to the passive vaccine that Hadassah Hospital have. This is a vaccine that is based on antibodies. It's not the vaccine, but it is a passive vaccine, and they seem to react very positively and recover. Also, the government announced that they were in discussions with the European Union and European Union countries to allow for safe travel to various countries without the need for quarantine. And in the last hour or so, the Greece's foreign minister met with our foreign minister, Gabi Ashkenazi, and an agreement has been reached to allow Israelis to visit Greece, and those would be Israelis that are COVID-free. So slowly, things are starting to return to normal, despite the fact that there are still a high level of infections and mortality rate. But we really hope that as we understand more about the virus, more about how it responds and what treatment works, that we'll be able to manage it more effectively. So those are the top stories making headlines as we head into the weekend. But don't forget that you can read our content online. It's all original. at www.layoftheland.online. You can read Dave Kaplan's article about the latest sale in cinemas. What is that? You're intrigued, I hear you say? Well, check it out on our website, also on our Facebook page. We're at Lottel's site. Our community there is growing, and we love to see you also give us a like, a follow, and share our content. Also, see where we are tomorrow for Shabbat. We like to picture a different scenario around the country. Don't forget that we're on Twitter as well. I mean, of course we are. We're at Lay of the Land with the digit 5. That's at Lay of the Land 5. We're also on YouTube at the Israel Brief. And don't forget to click on that big red subscribe button, because you help to be the voice of Israel. So with the last edition of the Israel Brief for this week, I'm Rolene Marks, wishing you all a safe, a healthy, a peaceful weekend. And on behalf of all of us here at Lay of the Land, Shabbat Shalom. We'll catch you next week.